Broncos now cut by the Jaguars after a tough year, dealing with some injuries and not performing to the level they hoped he had. And the Broncos hoping they can get the best out of an Evan Ingram. So he was talking to the media yesterday for the first time since his signing, and Evan Ingram talking about why he chose the Broncos.
Free agency is a crazy roller coaster, and took a visit to LA. Great organization there as well. Had a great visit with them, but the best place for me and my family was here in Denver. Just with the offense, the history here, the way the organization takes care of its players. It's, like I said, I can go on all day. And just really blessed to be here. Crazy process, and I just credit God for putting me in the place that he sees fit.
All right, so he's talking about it being a blessing here that he landed. Goes to L.A., doesn't like what he's being told, pitched, and then gets back on a bird, comes to Denver, and puts some ink to paper there.
Boom.
With his autograph on it.
Mm-hmm.
The things that he's saying there, the first thing that popped into my head when I listened to this last night, Cecil, was, man, word's getting out that it's nice to be a Denver Bronco again.
Oh, yeah.
Word's getting out that Greg Pinner's taking care of his players. Word's getting out that the facility is outstanding, that the ownership group is going to do everything they can to make the facility outstanding, that they're going to take care of players both on and off the field. You add that with the success that you and I both believe is on the way for the Broncos, this thing is about to become, once again, a free agent destination because of things that Evan Ingram just said.
Well, and you hear that from Ingram, and you know that Bo Nix is part of that. Sean Payton is part of it, and maybe Sean is most of it. Right? The attraction of playing for a Super Bowl champion head coach, for a guy that's been able to get it done, and he did it with New Orleans, a team that was historically the Aints. Outside of a brief flash in the 90s, that's what that team was. Sean Payton made them right. He made them champions. Could have made them multi-time champions, had some terrible calls not gone against him. So that's the attraction. But then you see Bo, and ball knows ball. Talanoa Hufanga talked about Bo Nix this week, and how you watch that kid play and you know what he can do. You know that he's going to be that type of leader. And if he was, a struggling rookie quarterback, let's say, for example, even Drake May, who did flash a little bit, but could you say the same thing about him? Could you say the same thing about Caleb Williams?
Not
Outside
right
of Jaden Daniels, you can't say what you can say about Bo Nix.
Mm-mm.
And that's something where guys are going, all right, now I want to come here because Payton knows how to win a ring, and Bo Nix looks like he can win a ring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, Bo was asked earlier this offseason about him being a part of free agency and said, hey, that's for them right now. That's also going to change. Because I would imagine it happens in all sports, Cecil, and you know it, in the football world, that free agent wide receiver watching the Denver Broncos, heck, it's something we're going to hear from Evan Ingram a little bit later on saying he kept an eye on Bo. He did it for a separate reason, but there's going to be wide receivers, tight ends, running backs that now are watching the Denver Broncos going, damn, they got something cooking over there. That young quarterback's got something cooking over there. That guy can make me some money. Sean Payton can make me some money in this league, which makes it even more attractive without even going upstairs when we talk about ownership.
Well, and what's interesting about this conversation is that it's also the defenders. Remember when DeMarcus Ware and Aqib Talib were on the same plane?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I think one of them was sleeping. I think DeMarcus might have been sleeping, and then Aqib was like waking him up like, hey, you going to Denver?
Yeah.
And, it's like they're going to Denver because of Peyton Manning. Because you knew, okay, offense is taken care of. I just get to be me. Offense is going to put me in a great spot. As a defender, you don't want to go play when an offense is just a bunch of slappies and you better shut them down. No, if you're DeMarcus Ware, what? Peyton Manning's going to drop 35. I'm going to pin my ears back. I'm about to get 20 sacks this year. If you're Aqib Talib, you're like, give me them 10 picks because you're going to be throwing because you're desperate because Peyton took care of business. Bo can build that. He may not be there yet, obviously, but that reputation of being a great offense with Sean Payton, with Bo Nix, that can recruit defenders to say, hey, I don't know, I get to eat.
Yeah.
Because other teams I face are going to be desperate because the Broncos' offense is unstoppable.
One more from Evan Ingram here. We're going to hear from him a couple of different times throughout the show today, but he was talking about the sales pitch, right? He goes to Los Angeles, doesn't like what he hears, comes back to Denver. They re-engage their conversations, and, of course, a part of that is the Joker role. here he is talking about that being a big part of the pitch.
That's a cool thing just to embrace. Sean talks about it a lot. It was a big part of the pitch coming here, and the fans are great here, so just was kind of embracing that narrative a little bit. But I definitely see that as something that's got to be earned. The way I work, the way I come in and learn the offense, and gain the trust of Sean and Bo and the rest of the coaches and the rest of the players. So, I think we got a bunch of jokers, honestly, on this team that can have a great role in this offense. So definitely something that, I like to embrace, but something I'm going to go earn too.
All right, really love a couple of things that he's saying. There are a bunch of jokers on the team. We'll figure that out as we go there, Evan. But something that he has to embrace. He later on talks about something that he's going to have to earn. I really like that. And that's obviously part of that coming from Sean. But I will say, when I heard this last night, Cecil, I also had you on my other shoulder being like, you better check some of those expectations from a guy like Evan Ingram. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With some of those numbers that you and I have agreed upon, but rattled off about Evan Ingram, and it's not 1,000 yards and it's not 8 touchdowns, right?
Right.
It's basically half of that. Does that scream Joker? Because I think I'm going to be able to speak for most Broncos fans on this one. And if I'm wrong, tell me on the text line.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like this Joker role that's been out there and like, oh, you got to get this Joker role, you got to get this Joker role. And then boom, things will start to explode offensively. Well, the numbers that you and I have agreed upon, that doesn't scream that Joker role and offensive explosion that I think we were all sold by Sean when it comes to Joker.
Yeah, and I would say this, and this is my football dorkdom coming through. It's more the role than it is the production.
Okay.
It's the role of how you can use a joker. A joker is not, there's a Y and an F. John Elway told me that years ago, and I already knew it, John. And you know that I know that you know that I knew it. So the Y is the traditional blocking and, run a simple route. Adam Troutman. That's a Y. He's
boring.
A Y.
You're talking about boring.
Well, nothing wrong with the Y, baby.
Okay,
Nothing wrong with the Y. But, that's what that is. The F is the flex. The F tight end is the receiving tight end. He's the guy that can line up in the slot. He can line up out wide. He's Jimmy Graham. So Evan Ingram is that by role, but not that by production. And I think if we look at where Evan Ingram's at right now in his career, he's not a young man. He's not the same player that he used to be, but he still can be that joker role. So that role is fit. Check mark, it's done. He's the role, and we have to bring Devon Vele into the conversation now.
Good
because
call.
Vele's been the guy balling out. I
Yes,
mean,
he
if
has.
it's Sutton getting 80 catches and Vele getting 75, then Ingram's getting 50, and R.J. Harvey's getting 50. I mean, Devon Vele could really change the target structure of this offense. Again, it's mini camp, whatever. Our guy BK asked yesterday because someone was talking about Devon Vele, and he's like, but is he Lucas Kroll territory? And it was just a joke. And BK, I knew you were joking, so no need to apologize via Twitter. Like, it's fine, baby. It's fine. So it is mini camp, but Devon Vele's been the story. He's been the man. And that's definitely going to impact Evan Ingram. But that role of joker is going to open things up for the entire offense.
Yeah.
Adam Troutman doesn't threaten anybody.
Not even me.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And he's going to be a coach someday. I've always been careful. I'll pull the curtain back. Like when I'd said Zach Dysert couldn't play, and then Mike McCartney got mad at me because that was his client. I'm like, yeah, your guy can't play. Sorry. Yeah. I'm always like with Kellen Moore, when he was at the Senior Bowl, I was like, dude can't play, but he's going to be a coach, so I better be nice to him.
You were right. You were right on that one. By the way, this is a strange text to see on a Friday.
What's that?
Relax on the Broncos hype. Way too much.
Whoa.
Hey, every party has a pooper, and the pooper's you this morning, 720-635.
Friday pooper?
Friday pooper.
Whoa.
So you tell me
You have to pay extra for that.
we shouldn't be fired up over a quarterback that looks like he might be the best, and not even looks like, is the best option in about 10 years, might be the franchise. A coach that's won Super Bowl is now in the fold and looks like they're working well together between coach and general manager. They won 10 games and went to the playoffs for the first time in a decade. But we shouldn't be excited? I just want to make sure I got things clear here with the texter.